This was never a coincidence. The heavens are speaking to you, Leo. The very fact that you are hearing this now is not an accident. It is not random. It is not a glitch in the algorithm. This is what we call divine timing. You did not find this message. This message found you. There is something happening in the unseen, something vast and undeniable. And even though you cannot yet see it with your eyes, your spirit already knows. It's the reason your chest has felt heavy at night. It's the reason your dreams have become more vivid, strange, and intense. It's the reason you've been feeling like something is shifting inside of you, but you can't explain why. Leo, what you are feeling is the vibration of a cosmic event moving toward you. And when it arrives, it will leave you breathless. But before it does, there are truths you must remember. You have been walking through darkness with a light still burning inside you. You've been giving, holding, enduring, while wondering if anyone sees the weight you carry. You've learned how to be strong in silence, how to smile when your world was crumbling, and how to fight battles that no one else even knew existed. And yet here you are, still standing, still glowing, still chosen. What's coming now is not just a reward for surviving. It's the awakening of everything you were always meant to become. This isn't the beginning of your story. This is the part where everything starts to make sense. Your heartbreak wasn't wasted. Your loneliness wasn't for nothing. Your delays were divine. The heavens have been watching, not judging you, but preparing you. Not punishing you, but protecting what is sacred. You see, Leo, when someone carries the kind of light you do, the universe takes its time. Because you are not here for a small life. You are not here for average love, average joy, or average purpose. You were sent to do something great, to awaken others, to lead with your heart, to become a mirror for courage and dignity. And now, everything you've gone through is beginning to align. The signs, the patterns, the delays, the breakups, the betrayals, all of it has been carefully orchestrated to lead you to this point. This very moment, there is a door opening, and what lies behind it is not simply an opportunity, it's your divine assignment, but only if you choose to step through. Because destiny is not given, it is answered. That's why this message is not just a prediction, it's a calling. You are being summoned, not by me, but by something far greater than any one voice. You are being summoned by the stars that bore your name into the night sky, by the ancestors who walked before you, praying that someone in their bloodline would be the one to break through, by the sacred fire inside you that refuses to go out, no matter how many storms have tried to extinguish it. So I want you to take a breath, not a shallow breath, but one that reaches into the core of who you are. Because everything from this point forward will require your full presence, your full openness, your full heart. This is not a video, this is an invitation to remember the truth, that your life is not random, that your pain was not pointless, that your gifts were never lost, only hidden, waiting for the right moment to rise. And Leo, that moment has come. In the next few minutes, you will walk through the spiritual architecture of what the universe has been building behind the scenes of your life. You will see how everything is connected, how the tears you cried in private have already been turned into rivers of abundance, how the person you thought was gone forever might return with a sacred message, how the very things that broke you are now becoming the tools to rebuild something stronger. You will also be asked to make a choice, because what's coming cannot be carried by someone who still clings to the past. The universe is not asking for perfection. It's asking for permission. Permission to move through you, to guide you, to elevate you. And you don't need to know how. You only need to say yes. Because within the next 72 hours, the energy surrounding you will begin to shift. You may receive a message, a dream, a number that repeats, or an encounter that feels strangely meaningful. Don't ignore it. Don't rationalize it away. That will be your signal. The moment you've been waiting for, whether you knew it or not, is already on its way. But here's the truth. If your heart is closed, you won't see it. If your mind is filled with fear, you won't believe it. If your soul is still doubting its worth, you won't receive it. That's why the heavens brought you here, to remind you that you are still chosen. To awaken the lion that has been sleeping inside of you. To hand you back your crown. No more shrinking. No more apologizing. No more pretending to be less than what you are. You are the child of the sun. Born to blaze. Born to roar. Born to lead. And now, the time has come. What the heavens are preparing for you is not a coincidence. It is the return of your light. Now the question is, will you answer the call? If your answer is yes, if something inside you is whispering, "This is meant for me," then take a deep breath and say out loud, "I accept my divine destiny." Then stay with me, because what comes next will not only explain the storm you've just survived, it will reveal the miracle that's waiting on the other side. This is where your story turns. Let us begin. Part 1. The cries you thought no one heard. There is a kind of silence that only the strongest souls know. A silence that doesn't bring peace, but pressure. A silence that lives in the corners of your mind at night, when the world is quiet, but your heart is loud. It's the silence of holding it all together, of pretending to be fine when your soul is unraveling, of being the protector, the provider, the leader, even when no one protects you. Leo, this silence has followed you like a shadow. It's the silence of being misunderstood, the silence of waking up every day and pushing forward, even though something inside you has been whispering, "I'm not okay." And the truth is, you've become so used to carrying pain alone that part of you stopped believing anyone was listening at all. But they were. The heavens heard you. Every single sigh, every single tear, every moment you clenched your jaw to keep from falling apart, it was witnessed, not by those around you, but by something higher, by the divine force that created you, by the stars that carved your path before you were born, by the ancient light that still believes in you even when you forget how to believe in yourself. Leo, your strength is sacred, but it was never meant to isolate you. You were never meant to suffer in silence. What you've gone through, the heartbreak, the disappointment, the delays, the rejection, it wasn't punishment. It was purification, the kind of soul cleansing that burns everything false away until only your truth remains. You are walking through fire, not to be destroyed, but to be revealed. And now that fire has changed you. You are no longer the same person who cried yourself to sleep 6 months ago. You are no longer the same version of yourself who questioned their worth, who waited to be chosen, who stayed quiet to avoid being too much. That version of you gone, because you've been heard, you've been seen, and you're being answered. The silence is breaking. The isolation is ending. And what's coming next is not just a blessing, it's a response. A response to every night you felt invisible. A response to every time you gave love and got emptiness in return. A response to the part of you that still wonders if you're worthy. Let me make it clear, you are. Not because you're perfect, not because you figured it all out, but because you kept going. You kept loving. You kept believing in light, even when the night was long. The universe honors that. That is why the energy around you is shifting now. That is why, over the next few days, you will begin to feel something unexplainable. A calm without a cause. A hope that returns out of nowhere. A warmth inside your chest that says something good is coming. Because it is, and not because you begged for it, but because you were built for it. Leo, this next season of your life is not a reward for your suffering. It's the result of your resilience. But here's the truth the world doesn't tell you. The strongest people are often the loneliest because they rarely ask for help, because they're the ones others depend on. But you are being called now, not just to be strong, but to allow yourself to be soft again, to trust, to receive, to let the light you've given to others finally return to you. And it will, not all at once, but piece by piece, day by day, you'll start to see the signs in the way someone unexpectedly shows up for you. In the dream you have that feels like more than a dream. In the number you see over and over again. In the message you almost missed, but knew in your bones was meant for you. You've cried long enough. Now it's time for the world to listen. Now it's time for your soul to be fed. Now it's time for your light to be recognized, not just used. You are not here to beg for your place. You were born to lead. So stand taller, Leo. You've earned your place at the table of miracles, and the universe has already saved you a seat. Life lesson from this chapter. Being strong doesn't mean being silent. And just because the world didn't see your tears doesn't mean the heavens didn't answer them. You are allowed to need. You are allowed to feel. You are allowed to be powerful and still say, I need help too. The next chapter of your life begins when you stop apologizing for your sensitivity and start honoring it as your superpower. Part 2. The hidden portal of 72 hours. There are moments in life that feel ordinary. And then there are moments that hold invisible keys. Moments that, unless you're paying attention, pass like any other. But for those who are listening, truly listening, they are portals. And right now, Leo, one of those portals has opened for you. It's not metaphor. It's not poetic language. It's energetic truth. Over the next 72 hours, the spiritual realm is aligning in your favor in ways that are extremely rare. Not just astrologically, not just energetically, but soulfully. Something is being activated for you, specifically you, and the window to respond is open for a limited time. That's why you're here. That's why your soul was pulled to this message. Because deep down, you can feel it. That quiet pulse beneath the noise, that strange knowing that something unseen is moving, adjusting, preparing your next step. And you're right, Leo. The universe is never silent, but it's not always loud. It often whispers through numbers, through songs, through dreams, through the way someone you haven't spoken to in years suddenly appears in your life again. The question is, will you recognize the signal when it comes? Because in the next 72 hours, you are going to receive one. Not just any sign. Not a vague hunch or a gentle nudge, but something clear, undeniable, something you cannot explain away. It could be a repeated number that shows up on clocks, receipts, addresses, a message from someone you thought you'd never hear from again, a dream so vivid you wake up with your heart racing, a door opening in your career, your finances, or your personal life that feels too perfectly timed to be coincidence. This is not superstition. This is synchronization. The alignment between your internal energy and the divine rhythm of the universe. In Leo, that alignment is happening now. But here's the part most people miss. The sign won't come to convince you. It will come as a confirmation. A confirmation of what your intuition already knows, that you are being prepared, that your path is shifting, that you are not who you were, even if you're still in the same place physically. That inside of you, something ancient is awakening. This portal isn't about doing more. It's about becoming still enough to notice what's already happening. So I ask you, in the next 72 hours, will you slow down long enough to hear what the divine is saying to you? Will you make space in your day, even just 5 minutes, to sit in silence, close your eyes, and feel what wants to rise in you? Will you allow yourself to say, I am ready, even if you don't yet understand what you're saying yes to? Because that one sentence spoken with intention can become the seed of a miracle. This window of energy is not something you can force open. It's a gift. And once it closes, it won't open again for a long time. That's why the universe brought you here. To give you this message while there's still time. You're not behind. You didn't miss it. But the clock has started. And in the next 3 days, what you do, think, and say will carry amplified energy. Not just in your outer life, but in your soul contract. Every thought you think will carry more weight. Every intention you set will echo louder. Every action you take will ripple wider. So be mindful, Leo. Be deliberate. Be clear. This is not the time to complain, doubt, or shrink. It is the time to affirm, to visualize, to declare. If you need healing, speak it. If you need opportunity, expect it. If you need clarity, ask for it, then listen. But above all, choose your frequency, because during this portal, your frequency will determine what sticks to you and what falls away forever. And I'll be honest, this window may come with sudden disruptions. Something might end unexpectedly. Someone might distance themselves. An opportunity may close as another one opens. Don't fear these moments. They're not blocks. They're clearing. You've asked the universe for change. Now the universe is asking you, are you willing to release the old, to receive the real? Because what's coming is not a better version of your past. It's a completely new frequency. And to receive it, you must choose to stop repeating the patterns that broke you. This portal isn't about hustling harder. It's about aligning deeper. So, during the next 72 hours, let this be your spiritual practice. Speak only what you want to see. Think only what supports your future self. Move only in ways that reflect who you are becoming. Rest without guilt. Meditate with intention. Visualize your life not as it is, but as it's about to become. And say this to yourself every morning and night. I align myself with what is divinely mine. I release everything that is no longer meant for me. Because, Leo, what the heavens are preparing for you will not come through force. It will come through faith, through clarity, through alignment. Your moment is already approaching. Your sign is already on its way. Your future is already watching you. Now it's your turn to meet it halfway. Life lesson from this chapter. Divine timing doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for presence. What you do in moments of alignment creates ripples you'll feel for years. Be awake. Be intentional. Be open. This is your portal. What you plant now becomes your destiny. Part 3. The soul you thought you lost returns with a message. There are certain souls who never really leave us. No matter how much time passes, no matter how far they go, no matter how many lifetimes stand in between, they remain. They remain in our thoughts, in our dreams, in our triggers, in the spaces of our hearts that never found a proper explanation for why they had to go. Leo, you felt this. Someone in your story has haunted the quiet places of your soul, not as a ghost, but as a vibration. They weren't just a lover. They weren't just a friend. They were part of your spiritual contract. The two of you met in this lifetime because something ancient needed resolution, because something divine needed to be remembered. Because love like that doesn't come to make you comfortable. It comes to awaken you. And then it ended, or at least that's what you told yourself. You buried the memory. You moved on, or tried to. You told yourself the story was over. But energy doesn't obey timelines. And soul connections don't fade just because someone stopped texting. Now in this sacred portal of energy, something is stirring again. This person, the one you thought you had forgotten, the one who left without closure, the one who you still feel in your dreams or see in the corner of your mind when you least expect it, they are re-entering your frequency. But this isn't a repeat. This isn't about going back. It's about completion, because there is something they left with you that still needs to be said. And there is something you left with them that they never stopped carrying. You may receive a message. You may bump into them. You may dream about them and wake up feeling like something shifted inside your chest. Pay attention, not because you need to go backwards, but because this moment may hold the closure, the awakening, or even the new beginning you didn't expect. Leo, this soul connection carries karmic weight. It was never shallow. It was never accidental. And now, under the light of what the universe is doing in your life, this connection is surfacing again. For some of you, it may be a person from years ago. For others, someone you've recently released. But in both cases, the message is the same. This connection still has something to teach you. Maybe it's forgiveness. Maybe it's truth. Maybe it's a second chance not to repeat the past, but to rewrite the story. And maybe, just maybe, this person was never meant to stay back there. Maybe they were meant to return now when both of you are finally aligned in a way you never were before. But proceed carefully, because with soul connections, the lesson is always deeper than the surface. Ask yourself, do they see the real me now? Not just the version they remember. Have I healed the wounds they once activated in me? Can we meet this time, not in trauma, but in truth? The universe isn't trying to confuse you. It's offering you a mirror, because sometimes it takes someone from your past to show you how far you've come. Sometimes the very person who once broke your heart returns to help heal it, not through fantasy, but through clarity. This is not about becoming dependent. It's about becoming whole. And in some cases, the return is symbolic. The dream, the message, the reminder, It's not always a physical reunion. It might be your soul's way of saying, you're ready now to forgive. You're ready now to let go. You're ready now to love again, even if it's not them. Leo, don't underestimate the sacred power of what's happening. If someone from your past reappears emotionally, spiritually, or physically, know that it is divinely timed, not to disrupt your growth, but to test it, to reflect it, to bless it. You didn't imagine that connection, and you're not imagining this return. But now, it's up to you to respond differently, to be who you are now, not who you were then. Because the way you handle this moment could determine more than you realize. It could open a new chapter in your healing. It could clear an energetic blockage in your heart. It could create space for someone new, or for the transformed version of what once was. And if you've already started to feel them in your energy, don't resist it. Don't panic. Don't judge yourself. Just ask the universe, what am I meant to learn from this return? And then, be still. Listen, the answer will come. In a dream, in a sign, in a moment of truth. You'll know it when you feel it. Because your soul already remembers. Life lesson from this chapter. Not every return is meant to rekindle. Some are meant to remind you how far you've come and who you've become because of the pain. Honor the connection, but honor yourself even more. Forgiveness is power. Clarity is freedom. And love, real love, always begins within. Part 4. The unexpected money that has your name on it. Let's speak the truth that too many spiritual people are afraid to say out loud. You can be evolved. You can be compassionate. You can be deeply connected to your purpose and still feel overwhelmed by money. Yes, Leo. You can love the divine and still worry about bills. You can believe in miracles and still have sleepless nights about your finances. You are human. And abundance is not a luxury. It's a birthright. The problem is, somewhere along the way, someone taught you that you had to suffer to be spiritual, that you had to struggle to be pure, that money was something for others, for those more practical, more greedy, more worldly. But that belief was never yours. It was programmed into you, taught to you by a system that feared what you might become if you had both power and peace, both resources and righteousness. And now the universe is correcting that. Because, Leo, there is money coming your way, and it's not just random. It's assigned. It carries your energetic fingerprint. It has your name woven into the vibration of it. It's not a lottery win. It's not a fantasy. It's a divine reimbursement for what you've poured out in silence. The universe saw when you gave without expecting anything back. It saw when you covered for others, when you sacrificed your needs, when you stayed generous even when your own cup was nearly empty. And now, not someday, not eventually, but now, the energy is returning. But here's what makes this moment sacred. The money is unexpected because your mind wouldn't know how to calculate this blessing. It's coming through strange channels, through people you didn't expect, through opportunities that weren't on your vision board, through sudden ideas, gifts, or even money owed that finally gets released. And it won't be everything you ever dreamed of all at once. It won't be millions overnight. But it will be exactly what you need, right when you need it, to shift your situation, to relieve the pressure, to prove to you that you're not alone. The cards of destiny are turning. one of them has a gold coin pressed into your hand. But here's the test. Will you receive it? Because many people sabotage their own abundance. They say they want it, but when it comes, they feel guilty. They downplay it. They shrink. Don't do that, Leo. Not this time. You are allowed to have good things. You are allowed to feel secure. You are allowed to be both soulful and successful. You are allowed to release the survival mode you've been stuck in for years. The pattern of just enough is ending. But to truly receive this blessing, you must shift one thing: your belief. Do you believe that financial freedom is possible for you? Do you believe that the universe wants you to be supported? Do you believe that money is energy, and energy flows where love and clarity reside? If not, pause. Reflect, because what's coming cannot be held by hands that feel unworthy. The abundance that's approaching you isn't just looking for an open wallet. It's looking for an open heart. One that says, I deserve this. I am ready for this. I will use this not just to survive, but to serve. Leo, this isn't just about dollars. It's about alignment. When you finally start seeing the financial shifts in your life, you'll notice something powerful. Your confidence will return. Your anxiety will lift. Your ability to create will expand. And your generosity, which never left, will evolve. Because what you attract now will reflect who you've become, not who you were when you were in survival. And here's something else. You don't need to chase this money. You don't need to hustle endlessly. You need to stay present, follow your nudges, and act when it feels right. You may receive an offer you didn't expect, a refund back pay, or forgotten investment, a person who opens a door, financially or professionally, a download, an idea that becomes income. When it comes, claim it. Don't question it. Don't call it luck. Call it what it is. A response. Because abundance is not a reward for being good. It's a mirror of self-worth. And now that you're rising, the mirror has changed. Leo, this chapter of your life will teach you one of the most powerful spiritual truths. You do not have to suffer to grow. You do not have to lack to prove your light. You do not have to starve to stay pure. You can thrive. You can receive. You can glow. And be grounded at the same time. This is what divine abundance looks like. And it's arriving. Let it. Life lesson from this chapter. Money doesn't make you less spiritual. Avoiding your own abundance only delays your destiny. You are allowed to receive without apology. When you accept what the universe gives you, become a vessel for even more. And this time, the overflow is for you too. Part 5. A family miracle you didn't see coming. Not all miracles arrive with thunder. Some enter quietly like a whisper between generations, like the first cry of a newborn, like the unexpected phone call that changes everything, like the silence that suddenly feels peaceful, not empty. Leo, something is shifting within your family, and you can already feel it. You may not be able to explain it. You may not have words for it, but your intuition has been picking up the signals. There's something in your lineage that's about to be healed. Something sacred. Something you gave up on ever fixing. For some, this may come through an announcement, a pregnancy, an engagement, a reunion, a reconciliation. For others, it may arrive in a way that's less visible, but no less divine, a long-held grudge, dissolving a new level of understanding, a forgiveness never spoken, but deeply felt. The energy around your family has been dense for years, tangled with misunderstandings, buried wounds, and things left unsaid. And because you are Leo, the heart of the Zodiac, you've often carried this weight in silence. Even when it wasn't yours to carry, you've played the role of the strong one. The bridge. The unspoken glue that holds everything together when it starts to fall apart. But what happens when the bridge breaks? You've asked yourself that before. You've felt the exhaustion of trying to hold a family line that refuses to heal. You've cried behind closed doors, wondering why it always falls on you. But Leo, here is the truth you need to hear. It fell on you because you were the only one strong enough to break the pattern. You didn't come here just to inherit trauma. You came here to end it. And now the universe is sending help. Because what you couldn't fix alone, divine timing is about to repair. This family miracle won't come through force. It won't come through begging, explaining, or overextending yourself again. It will come when you release control, when you stop carrying what doesn't belong to you, and when you allow the universe to do what only divine energy can do. You may receive a message from someone you thought would never reach out. You may hear unexpected news about a family member, something joyful, something healing, something soft. You may finally feel peace in a room that used to drain your spirit, because peace is not always a place. Sometimes it's a vibration, and your vibration is changing. Leo, your heart has been heavy with ancestral weight. Not just your own pain, but the echoes of those who came before you. The mothers, fathers, sisters, sons, grandmothers, those who were wounded, silenced, and stuck. But you are different. You are not here to repeat. You are here to redeem. And the miracle that's coming may not look flashy. It may not come with fanfare, but it will shift the emotional temperature in your entire family line. It may be a difficult family member suddenly softening, a new child entering the family with sacred energy, a long-awaited apology spoken or unspoken, a gathering where walls come down instead of going up, a death that finally brings peace, not chaos, a reconciliation that brings everyone to tears. No matter how it shows up, you will know it's sacred. You will feel the energetic release like a long exhale, and it will be personal. Because deep down, you've longed for this, maybe even more than you've admitted. You've said, "I'm over it." But some part of you is still praying in secret for a sign, for change, for something to show you that your love was not wasted. Leo, your love was never wasted. The family didn't always know how to hold it. Some rejected it. Some feared it. Some abused it. But none of that diminishes what you gave. And now what you gave is coming back to you, not always from the same people, but always in divine balance. The ancestors are watching, and they are rejoicing, because the healing that they were never able to complete, you are now completing. You are not just healing a wound. You are opening a door for every generation after you. This is why it was hard. This is why it took so long. This is why you couldn't walk away. Because your soul chose to break the chain. And the chain is finally breaking. Life lesson from this chapter. You were never just a member of your family. You were its turning point. And the love you gave in silence is now returning as peace, as joy, as a miracle. Sometimes, the biggest miracles aren't external events. They're the moments when your heart finally says, "I'm free." Part 6. The power inside you that heaven is now activating. Somewhere along the path of growing up, you started to forget. Not who you were on the surface, but who you were at the soul level. You forgot how easily you once believed in magic, how naturally you moved through the world with confidence, how you used to walk into a room and change the atmosphere not by what you said, but by who you were. You weren't always afraid. You weren't always quiet. You weren't always doubting yourself. There was a time when you trusted your instincts, when you felt energy move through you and you didn't question it, when you followed your inner compass, not the crowd, when you expressed your passion, even if no one else understood it. And then life happened. Someone shamed your fire. Someone told you that your ideas were too much. Someone made you feel that your voice took up too much space. So you did what many gifted souls do. You dimmed. You played small. You tucked your brilliance into a box labeled maybe later. But Leo, the universe never forgot your design. And now it's activating everything you locked away, because the world doesn't need a quieter version of you. It needs the real you. The bold one. The magnetic one. The lion-hearted one. The one who channels energy when they speak. The one who creates just by existing. The one who heals others simply by standing in truth. Leo, you are not just charismatic. You are a conduit. You carry solar energy, literal light, in your aura. And when you deny that light, your entire life feels dimmer. This is why your energy has felt off lately. Why you felt drained, distracted, or unmotivated. Because your spirit isn't meant to be silenced. It's meant to lead. And now the divine is waking you up, not gently, but urgently. There is a gift inside you that's been dormant. A spiritual skill, a creative talent, a leadership calling. Something powerful that you once touched, but haven't used in far too long. It could be a natural healing ability, a visionary mind, a voice meant for teaching, speaking, or inspiring, a creative genius that's been buried under responsibility, a psychic sense you shut down because it scared people. Whatever it is, it's no longer waiting. It's rising. And this is not the season to ignore it, because what you've been asking for, the change, the abundance, the respect, it will only come when you step into who you really are. You can't keep hiding. You can't keep diluting your truth to make others comfortable. You can't keep shrinking into roles you've outgrown. The universe is calling you to take up space again, to activate your gifts, not for ego, but for purpose. To remember that your boldness is not a flaw. It's a frequency. And when you own it, everything aligns. So ask yourself right now, what have I been suppressing that's actually sacred? What do people secretly admire about me, but I've been afraid to fully own? What did I used to love before the world told me I wasn't good enough? Because that is where your power is. And that is what heaven is now awakening. And yes, it might feel overwhelming. It might feel unfamiliar. You may doubt your readiness, but here's the truth. You were never meant to stay in hiding. You were never meant to dim your flame just to blend in. You are the child of the sun, born to shine, born to radiate, born to lead others into their own light by being unafraid of your own. This reactivation won't happen overnight, but it begins the moment you say, I reclaim my power. I remember who I am. Say it out loud. Let your cells hear it. Let the heavens echo it. Let the old stories fall apart, because from this moment forward, everything that you were born to do will start calling you louder. Everything you were trained to forget will start coming back. The dreams, the visions, the ideas that make no sense but feel divinely timed. That's the awakening. That's your higher self stepping forward, not someday. Now, Leo, the power was never lost. It was just waiting for your permission to rise again. Life lesson from this chapter: you are not becoming powerful. You are remembering that you already are. And the moment you stop asking for permission is the moment everything begins to align. You don't need to be more. You just need to be fully you. Part 7. The one choice that will rewrite your fate. There comes a moment in every Leo's journey when the universe stops whispering and begins to insist. You felt it. That pressure in your chest. That uneasiness that shows up when you stay in a place too small for your soul. That sense that you've outgrown something or someone, but you keep holding on because change still feels scarier than staying stuck. But here's the truth. You already know what needs to happen. You've known for a while. You've felt it in your body, in the way you hesitate before responding, in the way you've stopped feeling excited about what once lit you up, in the way your spirit starts to dim a little more every time you say yes to something that's no longer aligned. This is not confusion. This is clarity you've been avoiding. And now, the universe is done waiting. Leo, there is a choice standing before you. It may seem small on the surface, a phone call you've been postponing, a decision about work, a conversation you're afraid to have a door you haven't closed, or one you haven't yet opened. But spiritually, this choice is monumental. It is the fork in the road between who you've been and who you came here to become. It's not just about the job, the relationship, the move, the money. It's about energy. It's about frequency. It's about whether or not you're finally ready to step fully into your power, or if you're still trying to protect a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. There is no wrong path, but only one of them is sacred. Only one of them has been designed for your elevation. And that path, it requires your yes, not your maybe, not your someday, not your when things calm down. Your yes, because here's what most people don't realize. The universe doesn't move on indecision. It waits. It watches. It holds the next blessing just outside your reach, not to punish you, but to protect the future from being handed to someone who's still rooted in the past. The blessing is ready. The breakthrough is ready. The new version of you ready. But are you? This decision may feel terrifying. You may feel underqualified, unprepared, alone, but you are none of those things. You are protected, you are guided, and you are more equipped than you've ever been. Because now, you're not choosing from fear. You're choosing from alignment. Leo, if something in your life no longer reflects your truth, it is time to release it. And if something is calling to your spirit, even if it scares you, it is time to say yes. This is the chapter where your fate gets rewritten, where you stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What if this works beyond my imagination?" Because the truth is, that one message you've been scared to send could shift everything. That job you've been unsure about leaving might be the very thing keeping you from expansion. That project, book, business, or idea, it wasn't random. It's a seed from your soul that refuses to die. So choose, not out of fear, but out of faith, because you're not waiting on the universe anymore. The universe is waiting on you to decide, to commit, to leap even when the ground isn't visible yet. The moment you do, everything changes. Your vibration shifts. New doors open. Old versions of you begin to fall away. And the path you couldn't see becomes illuminated with signs, support, and divine synchronicity. Leo, this choice doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be true. Say yes to the thing your soul can't stop thinking about. Say yes to the life you've been postponing. Say yes to yourself, because no one is coming to give you permission. That was never the plan. You are the permission. And the moment you stop seeking outside validation is the moment your future begins to unfold without delay. Life lesson from this chapter: one decision made in alignment is more powerful than 100 made in fear. You already know what the right choice is. The question is, are you brave enough to choose it? This is not just a turning point, it's a new timeline. Choose the one that belongs to your highest self. Part 8. The karma ends when you forgive, and only then. There's a reason your heart still feels heavy, even after all the growth, even after the healing, even after the spiritual awakenings. And it's not because you're broken. It's not because you haven't done enough. It's not because you're weak. It's because there's still one wound left unhealed. One piece of the puzzle still locked inside your chest. One moment in your history that you revisit quietly, secretly, every time something good starts to happen in your life. Forgiveness, the final key, the one that almost no one talks about, because it's messy, because it's painful, because it demands something. Most people aren't ready to give release without revenge, peace without explanation, freedom without closure. Leo, there is someone you have not yet truly forgiven. It may be a person who betrayed you, or a family member who never saw your worth, a friend who disappeared when you needed them most, a lover who broke a promise, or even yourself for what you allowed, what you missed, what you regret. But make no mistake that unforgiveness is not dormant. It's active. It's a frequency that still lives in your energy field. And until you release it, it will block what the universe is trying to give you. This is not punishment, it's protection. Because divine blessings are fragile when they arrive, and the universe cannot plant them in soil that's still tangled with resentment. You've asked, why hasn't it arrived yet? Why do I keep repeating the same cycle? Why do things improve and then collapse again? The answer may not be in your effort, it may be in your emotions. Leo, you cannot outrun what you refuse to face. And right now, your soul is not asking for more strength. It's asking for more softness. To finally let go of the person, the event, the memory, not because they deserve your forgiveness, but because you deserve your future. This is what forgiveness really is. A decision to no longer carry pain that you didn't create. A conscious act of setting yourself free. Not so. They feel better, but so you can finally stop feeling stuck. Because when you hold on to the energy of betrayal, your heart builds walls so high that even your blessings can't climb over them. Leo, your heart was never made to stay guarded. It was made to shine. It was made to lead. It was made to love deeply, fully, divinely. And love cannot live where anger still rules. So ask yourself now, what pain am I still rehearsing in my mind? Who do I still wish would apologize, even though I know they probably never will? What version of me am I still punishing for not knowing better back then? Because when you identify it, you can release it. And when you release it, everything shifts. Your energy becomes lighter. Your spirit becomes magnetic. Your intuition gets louder. And your manifestations accelerate because finally, there's no emotional static blocking the signal. Let's be clear. Forgiveness is not pretending it didn't hurt. It's acknowledging the pain and choosing not to let it define your next chapter. You can forgive someone and still never speak to them again. You can forgive and still keep boundaries. You can forgive and still honor your healing journey. But you must forgive. Because karmic patterns don't end when the other person learns their lesson. They end when you decide to stop reliving the pain. And Leo, you're ready now. You've held on long enough. You've suffered silently for far too long. You've paid debts that were never yours to carry. It's time to declare it. Not just for the world, but for your soul. I forgive. I release. I am free. Say it, mean it, and then watch what happens. Watch how quickly your chest feels lighter. Watch how your sleep improves. Watch how your luck changes, how synchronicities return, how joy starts showing up again. That's not coincidence. That's karma releasing its grip. Forgiveness is the most powerful, energetic reset you'll ever experience. And when you finally let go, not just mentally, but energetically, your entire life catches up with your healing. Leo, this is your moment to break the chain, to burn the contract of pain, to walk out of the prison of memory and into the miracle of now. Life lesson from this chapter: forgiveness isn't for them, it's for your freedom. You don't heal by holding on. You heal by releasing the past and choosing yourself fully and finally. The karma ends when you let go. And once you do, what's next will arrive faster than you can imagine. Part 9. Divine love is coming, but it wears a different face. Leo, you've always loved deeply. When you give your heart, you don't just open a door. You open the palace gates. You don't love with logic. You love with fire, with loyalty, with presence. And when it ends, you don't just grieve the person. You grieve the future you imagined with them. You grieve the version of yourself that bloomed only in their presence. That kind of heartbreak is not simple. It's not something time alone can fix. Because when a Leo's heart breaks, it cracks open the very core of who they are. And so, you've learned to protect it, to hesitate before letting someone all the way in, to ask 100 questions, to analyze the signs, to hold back even when your soul is screaming to leap. But now, something is shifting. Something is stirring. A new frequency is forming around your heart space. A new kind of love is approaching. But here's the part that may surprise you. It won't look like the love you imagined. It won't come dressed in the clothes of your past. It won't carry the same language, the same red flags, the same fireworks. Because this love is divine. It's not here to repeat old stories. It's not here to teach you the same lessons wrapped in a different name. This love is here to elevate you, and it will arrive in a way that requires a new version of you to receive it. It may begin as friendship. It may start with trust, not lust. It may feel calm, not chaotic. It may speak softly rather than chase you with declarations. And you may question it because it doesn't match the emotional roller coaster you've been taught to equate with passion. But that's the point. Leo, you've mistaken drama for depth before. You've confused emotional highs and lows with connection. You've held on to people who burned you because they reminded you of something familiar. But this love, it comes to heal, not to repeat. And the only thing it asks of you is to be open enough to receive it. That may sound easy, but after all you've been through, after the betrayals, the abandonment, the letdowns, being open is the most courageous thing you can do. Because to receive this kind of love, you have to believe that it's real. You have to believe that you're ready. That love doesn't have to hurt to be deep. That stability can be exciting. That consistency is a form of devotion. You don't have to earn this love, you just have to allow it. And yes, it may arrive through someone entirely unexpected. Someone who doesn't fit your usual type. Someone who sees through your walls without trying to fix you. Someone who makes you feel safe in a way you've never experienced before. It may not be loud at first, but it will be real. It will be steady. It will come with peace, not confusion. That's how you'll know. And when it arrives, you'll feel something inside you soften. The armor you've worn for so long will begin to melt. The ache of what didn't work will begin to fade, and your heart will whisper, "This is what I was always waiting for." Not a fantasy, not a rescue, but a partner. Someone who doesn't just want to be around your light, but who brings light of their own. Someone who inspires you to grow without making you feel like you're not enough. Someone who respects your boundaries, celebrates your strengths, and walks with you. Not ahead of you, not behind you, but beside you. This love is rare, but it's real, and it's near. Don't reject it just because it wears a different face. Don't walk away from it just because it doesn't come in the form you expected. Stay open. The universe knows your heart. It knows what you've endured. It knows the nights you cried yourself to sleep thinking no one would ever love you the way you needed. And it has been preparing someone not perfect, but perfect for you. And you have been preparing too. This is what divine timing feels like. Not rushed, not desperate, just right. So when it comes, let it. Not with fear, not with guilt, but with the soft, clear voice of your soul saying, "Yes, I'm ready." Life lesson from this chapter. True love doesn't always arrive the way you imagined. Sometimes it comes dressed in stillness, wrapped in peace, delivered by grace. Your only job is to recognize it and receive it. The face may be different, but the soul will feel familiar because it was always meant for you. Part 10. Your tower had to fall so you could build a kingdom. There is a moment in every soul's journey when the walls begin to crack. You don't plan it. You don't expect it. You just wake up one day and realize the foundation you were standing on is no longer solid. That moment is terrifying. It's the breakup, the betrayal, the loss, the collapse of the job, the dream, the version of your life you built your identity around. And when it happens, you ask, why? Why did this have to fall apart? Why now? Why me? Leo, you've asked those questions. You've stood in the rubble of something you thought would last forever. You've screamed at the sky for answers that never came fast enough. You've tried to rebuild too soon. You've blamed yourself. You've blamed others. You've tried to pretend the cracks didn't exist. But here's the truth you may not have seen until now. That tower had to fall. Because it was built on survival, not sovereignty. What you were standing on wasn't aligned. It wasn't built for the future your soul was born to lead. It may have looked strong. It may have felt safe. But it wasn't real. It was built from outdated dreams, from fear, from unhealed wounds, from compromises that slowly chipped away at your light. And the universe, in its mercy, took it down for you, not to punish you, but to save you time, to protect your purpose, to make sure you didn't spend another decade building a life around what no longer resonates with your highest self. Leo, the pain of the past wasn't random. It was a sacred clearing, a spiritual demolition, because you were never meant to live in a tower. You were born to rule a kingdom, a life built from truth, from alignment, from knowing your worth and refusing to settle ever again. But here's what most don't understand. Before you can rule a kingdom, you must walk through the ashes of the one that burned. You must look at the ruins and say, I forgive myself. I bless what once was. And I choose to build again with different hands, a different heart, and a different vision. Because now you're no longer building for validation. You're building for legacy. You're no longer constructing walls to keep people out. You're designing a life that invites only the right ones in. And yes, you're allowed to start small. A new idea, a new home, a new relationship, a new version of yourself that rises quietly but unapologetically. But make no mistake, what you build next will not fall, because it's being built from the strongest materials in existence: integrity, intuition, purpose, self-respect, and spiritual authority. Leo, your kingdom won't look like anyone else's. It's not meant to, because your mission on this planet is different. You're not here to impress. You're here to impact. And every piece of the tower that fell, it taught you something. It gave you tools you didn't know you'd need. It burned away the false to reveal the real. Now you are ready. You don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. You've already survived what was meant to break you. Now, it's time to build what reflects the power within you, brick by brick, prayer by prayer, decision by decision. You're constructing a life that can hold your greatness, and this time, no one gets to shake it. Not their doubt, not your fear, not the past. This is your new beginning, and it starts now. Life lesson from this chapter: what falls apart was never the end. It was the beginning of something your soul knew you needed, even when your heart didn't understand it yet. You are not the ruins. You are the architect. And the kingdom you're building now will last for lifetimes. Part 11. You were always the leader. Do so. Your crown returns. Leadership isn't something you learn. It's something you remember. Something ancient. Something in your blood. Something in your bones that speaks when everyone else goes quiet. Leo, you were always the leader, even before you had the words, even before you had the titles, even when you doubted yourself. You were the one people looked to, not because you asked them to, but because your presence has always carried weight, because your words move energy, because your heart makes people feel seen, because your courage gives others permission to step into their own. And yet, somewhere along the way, you forgot. Maybe it was the years of being told to tone it down. Maybe it was the silence that followed your deepest ideas. Maybe it was the betrayal that made you question your instincts. Maybe it was the moment you realized that being strong sometimes means being alone. So you stepped back. You dimmed your voice. You played small to stay safe. You let others take the stage, even when you knew they weren't ready. And you told yourself, maybe I'm not meant to lead after all. But the universe never agreed, because the fire inside you has never gone out. It has waited. It has watched. And now it is rising. The crown is returning not as a gift, but as something that was always yours. It may not be a crown you wear on your head. It's the crown of spiritual authority, the crown of earned wisdom, the crown of responsibility that comes not from force, but from alignment. Because real leadership is not about control. It's about example. It's about integrity. It's about standing firm in truth when others waver in fear. It's about saying what needs to be said with love, not with arrogance. Leo, you are not here to follow. You are not here to fit in. You are here to set the tone, to walk ahead, to light the path, to roar when others whisper, and to protect those who've never known what it feels like to be safe in someone's light. But here's what they never told you. Leaders aren't chosen by people. They're chosen by the divine. And once the divine marks you, no amount of rejection, failure, or delay can erase that calling. Yes, you've been through loss. Yes, you've fallen. Yes, you've made mistakes. But every real leader has. Because leadership doesn't come from perfection. It comes from resilience. And now, Leo, you are being asked to rise. Not just for yourself, but for those who are silently watching you. Those who need to see what rising looks like. Those who are lost in the chaos, waiting for someone to remind them that light still exists. And that someone is you. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need a bigger following. You don't need a title. You already have the crown. Now it's time to wear it. But not with pride, with purpose. Because leadership is not about being above. It's about going first. You've already done it in small ways. When you spoke truth, even when it shook the room. When you forgave without applause. When you kept going, even when no one noticed. When you protected others, even while carrying your own wounds. That's real power. That's real royalty. And the world is starving for it. So as the divine restores your crown, wear it humbly. Wear it powerfully. And remember, it's not decoration. It's declaration. A declaration that your time has come. That your voice is needed. That your story is sacred. And that the kingdom you're about to build will be a place where others find courage because of the light you dared to shine. Life lesson from this chapter. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to lead the awakening. And the moment you own your voice, the universe responds with favor, flow, and fulfillment. The crown is not given, it's remembered. And now, you remember. Part 12. Your name has been written in the book of miracles. There are things you can't explain. Moments that make no logical sense. Doors that opened when every path was blocked. People who showed up out of nowhere, just in time. Signs that repeated. Dreams that wouldn't die. And a fire in you that no amount of rejection could ever truly extinguish. You've lived enough life to know this can't all be coincidence. Something else has been happening behind the scenes. Something cosmic. Something divine. Leo, you've been chosen, and not just for a role. Not just for success. You've been chosen for a kind of spiritual remembrance that only a few on this planet ever experience. Your life isn't just a story, it's a scripture, a living scroll of strength, fire heart, and resurrection. And somewhere in that book, the book of those meant to shift timelines, awaken generations, and rebuild legacies, your name has been written, not penciled in, not conditional. Written, sealed, ordained. Every setback part of the testimony. Every betrayal. A clue that you were carrying a light others couldn't handle. Every delay, heaven's way of preparing a space so grand the wait would be worth it. Because your journey was never about proving yourself. It was about becoming yourself, Leo. You were born under the sign of the sun, the only sign ruled by a star, not a planet. Do you know what that means? It means your energy was never meant to orbit anyone else's. You were born to shine in your own right, to burn through illusion, to radiate truth. And when you forgot that the universe sent you reminders through heartbreak, loss, synchronicity, dreams, and divine whispers at 3 a.m., not to punish you, to awaken you, because the time has come. The heavens are aligning, and miracles, not maybes, are on their way to you. Not because you begged, but because it's already written, because you've survived too much not to be blessed, because you've grown too much not to be trusted, because you've loved too deeply not to be rewarded. And now, the divine is shifting things in your favor. Right people, right timing, right purpose, right alignment. This is not just a new season, it's a new script. And you're not the background character anymore. You are the main one, the center of a story that was always meant to inspire, heal, and transform others, simply by how you lived it. So don't shrink when the blessings arrive. Don't flinch when the favor pours in. Don't sabotage the good because you're used to the hard. You are not the same Leo who cried in silence. You are the Leo who rose in fire. And now you are walking into rooms already prepared for your arrival. Not because of luck, because of divine design. You have no idea how many prayers were spoken over you before you were even born, but the heavens do. And they've been preparing for this moment. The moment when you finally realize your name was written in the book of miracles all along. Life, lesson from this chapter. Your destiny is not something you create from scratch. It's something you remember, awaken, and align with. And when you do, the miracles aren't random. They're reunions with what was already yours. Final conclusion. Leo, if you've made it this far, then you already know. None of this has been random. Not the pain, not the delay, not the silence, not even the heartbreak that almost broke you. It was never punishment. It was preparation. The heavens weren't ignoring you. They were building something behind the scenes that your human eyes couldn't yet see because it wasn't meant to be seen. It was meant to be felt in your heart, in your spirit, in your fire. Every breakdown led to a breakthrough. Every goodbye cleared space for something divine. Every closed door protected your path. And every tear watered the ground that miracles are now about to rise from. You didn't lose time. You were being aligned. And now the heavens are ready. The crown returns. The purpose activates. The miracles are released. This is the moment you stop doubting. This is the moment you stop apologizing for your light. This is the moment you stop thinking you were ever too much, because you weren't too much. You were just meant for more alignment, more authenticity, more love that honors your soul, more power that flows from truth, not fear. More life that reflects who you really are, not who you were told to be. So what do you do now? You rise with your heart open, with your spirit grounded, with your crown intact, with your purpose on fire, because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more light. Your light. Final life lesson. Your story was never about surviving the storm. It was about becoming the sun after it. And Leo, now it's your time to shine, not just for yourself, but for everyone watching you, quietly praying that someone like you would remind them that they can shine again too. If this message touched you, Leo, leave a comment below. I am ready for my divine alignment. The crown returns now. And if you felt seen, heard, or empowered, subscribe to this channel, Leo Zodiac Power, and stay with us, because we are only just beginning. The heavens haven't forgotten you. They've been waiting for you to remember who you are. This is not the end. This is the awakening. Welcome back, Leo.